Salutations, fellow readers. Today we're going to be doing the book tag for decluttering and unhauling some books. The original creator appears to have deleted or privated their video, so I will put a link to Katie Colson's video since that's the one that I watched. The first prompt says, a book you didn't like. The Little Book of Manifesting had very generic advice of meditation and visualization, so no insights for me in there, given I'm already familiar with those things. The second prompt says a series you won't be finishing. I did read Bad Magic by Pseudonymous Bosch, and I did not like it, which means I am not going to get to Bad Luck, the second book in the series. It's a shame because I love the Secret series by this author, and I've read the whole Secret series twice. It's just the sequel series, the Bad Books, did not work for me. The third prompt was a book that you didn't finish. The Book of Thoth by Aleister Crowley was a religious text with a writing style I didn't particularly care for. The fourth prompt is for a book you have multiple copies of. A book that I have multiple editions of is My Dear Henry by Kalynn Bayron, a Black queer retelling of Jekyll and Hyde by Stevenson. I'm going to keep this one and give this one to a friend. The fifth prompt is for a character that you hated. I don't really have one for this at the moment, but I thought that the characters in the Time Travelers, which is the first book in the Gideon trilogy by Linda Buckley-Archer, were pretty bland. I did read the entire trilogy from the library, I just only own the first book. And while I did like the concepts explored in book 2 of emotional problems that can arise from people who time travel and grow up in the wrong time period and such, I wasn't a fan of the characters themselves just because of how dry they were. Prompt 6 is for a TBR book, as in an unread book, that you aren't going to get to. I wanted to read Anne of Green Gables by Montgomery because it was the favorite of my redheaded grandmother, but unfortunately I wasn't vibing with the writing style of this long book, and this particular copy that I thrifted is in bad shape. Look at the pages coming out of the binding. Fortunately, I have a solution. I was able to thrift this adapted illustrated copy that's in much better shape. And it's about 2/5 of the length, so I'm confident in my ability to finish it. I read the first 20 pages of the original, and it was adapted in the first 8 pages of this abridged version, and it's really quite accurate. It's got some direct quotations, and what's not directly quoted is summarized quite well, and the illustrations are really nice, so that should keep me engaged. I didn't even need to read the first page of The Unwanteds Island of Silence by Lisa McMann because I read the first book, and while I enjoyed the world and the fact that the heroes were artists, I disliked that the morality was very black and white. I was hoping for more nuance with this dystopian fantasy. Prompt number 7 is for a book you bought because of the hype. That would be Book of Night by Holly Black. I do like a lot of her young adult books, such as Darkest Part of the Forest and Coldest Girl in Cold Town, but her debut for adults, Book of Night, I wasn't a fan of. Even though I recognized a lot of things about it were well done, there were adult characters with adult problems, like an account being in default. It was well researched with the lock picking, the plot twist was interesting, and the shadow magic concept was interesting. Also, the audiobook performance was good if you prefer to listen to your books rather than read them with your eyes. But I had a lot of problems with this book, including the fact that only the main character and love interest were well developed. None of the other characters had good character development, in my opinion. The pacing was really off because of the clunky world building and needless exposition, like what makeup people were wearing. They weren't in disguise or anything. It would just describe that pretty often. The depiction of tarot card readers was pretty offensive, that they were always scammers. I personally read tarot cards, and so do a lot of people I know, and so I really don't appreciate that at all. There was also not enough development into what a blight is. Maybe that will be explored further in the next book. I don't know because I won't be reading it unless somebody else reads it and says that the next book has somebody who's a legitimate tarot card reader. Prompt number 8 was a cover buy. I don't really have any books that I bought just because I thought the cover was pretty, but I do have a book that I got because I liked the illustrations. So that's going to be Eyes That Speak to the Stars. It's illustrated by Unhaul. And the reason I bought this is because I really liked the illustrations in Eyes That Kiss in the Corners, which is written and illustrated by the same group of people. And yeah, the illustrations are nice, but the plots are really just the same. It's a child who is self-conscious about having different eyes than their classmates, and they have their family members support them and get them to appreciate it. Eyes That Kiss in the Corners is about a girl and her female relatives. Eyes That Speak to the Stars is about a boy and his male relatives. And yes, I did buy Eyes That Speak to the Stars for the illustrations, but I didn't really want 2 copies of the exact same story. So I'm just gonna keep this one. Prompt number 9 is a book that you didn't buy. I did get this book as a gift, this edition of The Picture of Dorian Gray, and that's very nice of my friend to buy me this book with gilded pages and a ribbon bookmark. But the thing of it is, I already have an illustrated physical copy of The Picture of Dorian Gray and an ebook copy. So I'm going to keep those because this copy, while it is lovely, the font isn't easy for me to read as a visually impaired person. So while I really appreciate my friend's generosity, I'm going to pass it on to somebody who would be able to read the text easier. The final prompt says, a book that you don't remember what it's about. The Art of Losing supposedly had poems of grief and healing, but a lot of the poems were just about death and loss as general concepts, meaning I didn't get what I wanted. Here's an overview of my Unhaul, and I really appreciate that it shows the wide range of books that I read. Poetry, classics, nonfiction, and fiction for all ages. Preschool, children's middle grade, teenage young adults, and adults. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I really enjoyed doing this challenge and I would definitely do it again. Comment this emoji so I know that you watched until the end. Like if you want me to make more videos like this. Comment if you've read any of these books. And subscribe if you want to see more of me in the future. Especially for more of the adorable cat Hurricane, who is clearly the star of this booktube channel. That's the best way to support me. Happy reading!